News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. We're talking about scammers. This woman was in the middle of being scammed of $40,000. She was convinced by con artists to take an Uber they paid for or rideshare or whatever, took her to a gas station took her to a bank. She withdrew $40,000, went to a Bitcoin ATM machine to deposit it at a gas station Bitcoin ATM machine. I mean, this is so over the top red flags, but it happens to this poor woman. And a 38-year-old woman, a sweetheart who witnessed this at the gas station, Mindy Jordan, called the police, 911, to stop it from happening, to help this woman. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so happy for her. Thank you. It could have been any one of our moms or dads. You never know. And White Settlement police officer went in and stopped it as well. But it was too late. They already did $23,900. So I'm also in the middle of staving off a scam. I will tell you about mine. I will tell you that it's they try to pose my cable company, and they're sending me emails, and they're also calling me. And the number shows up as my cable company name and a telephone number. And here's what I did. I didn't call them back at that number. Guess what they're not doing? They're not leaving any messages. Huge red flag too, right? But here's what I did. I saw the emails. I didn't click on anything from them. I called my cable company. I looked it up online. I looked at my bill. I pulled up my bill, online. And I looked at the customer service number. I called it. And I said, do I have any... They're trying to get me to supposedly turn in equipment for my business account, or I'm going to supposedly they're trying to do that, and they actually even gave me a store that I think is a legit store, or location to drop off at, the equipment where you can drop off and pick up stuff. And I called the cable company, and they said, absolutely not. There's no such thing. We are not looking for that. That's not us. I said, wow. Guess what I did then? It's the same company, but it's separate accounts for my home line, right? Because my business is for my radio stuff, which I have to have a dedicated line just for radio, and it can't be interrupted. It's got to be the same IP address for everything, so it's a real special thing. And that's all it does is work for my radio station, nothing else. And the other one's for Wi-Fi for the house and all of our TV viewing, etc., Wi-Fi needs. And I called them. They said, nope, nothing on our account. You don't owe anything. You don't have to drop anything off. You don't owe anything. Oh, okay, thank you. Guess what else? A few days later, they keep calling and calling and calling. I never pick it up. And then finally, I pick up a local number they called at. They can pull up any. They can make up anything. They can say they're calling from the sheriff's office. It could say Collin County Sheriff's Department. It could say Dallas County Sheriff's Department. It could say Dallas Police Department. They can make up anything they want. And it says it on your phone. You know that, and I know that. So I picked it up because it was like a local number. And, this is Charter or whatever it was, or Spectrum. I don't know who they are anymore. Cable, and, you got to turn your equipment in. I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't believe you. You're not real. You're a scammer. I said, she goes, what do you mean? I said, where are you calling from? She goes, Florida. And I go, okay, well, there's no equipment to return. Well, you're going to have to owe $200 if you don't return it. I said, don't call me again. You're a scammer. Goodbye. And I hung up on her. And I still get the calls. And I got emails that look legit. I'm sure if I click on it, it'll take me to something that still looks like a cable site, but it's not. So guess what I did after that? It was yesterday, I think it happened again. So I called my cable company again immediately after. No, there's nothing. This time I called through the location they're alleging that I need to go to. I went online to the cable company. I saw there is a location because they can look up stuff from whatever. And I called that number, but I went to the 800 number for the actual cable company. I looked up on my own. You know what I'm saying? I didn't click any of their stuff. That's a virus or something. So, or phishing or whatever it is, malware phishing or whatever. So I called them and I went to the 800 number again. They're like, no, you owe nothing. We'll never do that to you. We'll never call you for that. I'm like, so it's a complete total scam, and they look so real. And the accents, there's no accent from another country. And when you look it up, I got it right here. The number they used, 877-330-0054. Take the number. Don't ever call it. Take the number, put it in the internet and hit enter, and then you'll see it come up, and this says scam. Robo-killers users have reported receiving spam calls from this number. As of right now, there's been, as 1 hour ago earlier, there's somebody reported, and there's 5,869 total calls about this number being a scam. It's fake Spectrum, fake AT&T, fake DirecTV, fake Comcast, Dish Network impersonation scam by Madar Shad, criminals phoning from India. Madar Shad, I don't know if that's an organized crime. It's also a scam by criminals calling from India, robo-dialing, stealing your credit card, social security number, personal ID information, and the scam begins with a pre-recorded message in English generated using text-to-speech, blah, blah, blah. And then right now, it said also at the headline for this, when I looked it up, received this call a few minutes ago, beware. It says Spectrum. It says, do not fall victim to any sort of scam. Spectrum has several different phone numbers depending on what the department, service you're calling about. That's true. There are several reports of people receiving calls like this and having their personal and financial information stolen. See that? Go on your own. Don't trust them. Don't do anything. Give them nothing. Say, great, I'm gonna check on my own. Thank you. And then don't say anything. And when they call from different numbers, just say you're a scammer. No, thank you. Actually, just hang up on them. Because you know what I tell my wife? She gets mad sometimes with these people. She starts doing stuff. I'm like, don't engage them. You peeve them off. They can make it their way to get you. Just don't make anybody mad. Just disengage. Okay, 2 lines open. I want to hear from all y'all now on your scams. Have you or your parents ever been scammed? Have you stopped it, or unfortunately we scammed? 800-288-WBAP is our number. And let's go first to, Vince in Hickory Creek. You're on 820 AM and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Hi. I know to watch for scams, and I got scammed. I went into a major car dealership and pre-approved for financing and decided to purchase a vehicle. Okay. So they send me to the finance manager and to sign paperwork and such. And he's holding the paperwork, and he said, well, you can e-sign a little black box. And he says, now they only turn in one key and key fob. He says, but I can get you a free key and key fob. Wait 30 days and call them, and they'll get you a free key and key fob. And he says, not only that, you wear out your tires, just poke holes in the sides of them and call them, and they'll get you a new free set of tires. I said, wow. I said, how much is this going to cost me? And he's typing on the computer. Oh, I'm just moving some money around. Well, he's doing me a favor. And
he said you could poke holes in your own tire and then you can just get it for free?
Yes.
That's a scam. That's dishonesty.
That is a scam. He's scamming everybody. He's scamming me, and he's scamming.
So what happened? Did he use your information to steal your identity and stuff, or what?
No. He was holding paperwork, and he says, "Okay, this is what this is, and go ahead and sign there. E-sign. All right. This is what this is. Go ahead and e-sign. Okay." And so he gets done. He puts everything in a folder. Okay. And he hands me the folder and hands me the keys. And there's your new car. And so I go home, and like I said, this is a major dealership. I'll put my trust into this guy and this dealership. I go home, and I'm looking through the paperwork. Okay.
Real fast. Is this like a Toyota, Chevy, or that kind of a dealership, or is it like somebody's name where it's a Ford?
It's a Ford.
Okay, go ahead. Now you get home, and then what?
I get home. I'm looking through the paperwork, and I see this $3,000 charge on there for a 360 tire plan.
Duh.
Okay, I did not purchase any 360 tire plan. It was never talked about. It was nothing.
Right.
But he put it on there. And
okay.
I called him immediately. I said, okay, this is not supposed to be on there. We didn't even talk about this. Nothing. I'll cancel it. It has to go through first, and then I'll cancel it. And I said, okay. And so I called him the next week. Did you cancel it? No, it's on my list to do.
Okay, why didn't you call his manager?
I did.
Oh, the owner.
That,
yeah.
I did. After that.
Then what?
I called the GM. Then what?
Now,
They reimbursed me for the $3,000, or the financing. They reimbursed it for the $3,000, but the guy is still working there.
Oh my gosh! You got to call police. Call the police. Better Business Bureau, file a complaint with them, but they're toothless. But file that. Do go online on Google and Yelp and every single thing you can find and nail them. And call that manager back and say, I'm going to and then report it to the police. Tell them what happened. Make a police report, even if they say since they gave you money back, there's nothing said. It's okay because they will do an incident report. And then you call that general manager back. Say I've filed a report with the police. I've gone on Yelp. I've gone on Google. I've done this and this and that. And I'm going to make it my duty. Do you have social media accounts?
Yes.
Put them on everything.
Yeah.
Put my name on there. Attach me to it. Everybody, you do everything. Send it to the Dallas Morning News. Send it to the Watchdog Dallas Morning News. Send it to the CBS Investigates, NBC5 Investigates, WFAA, Fox DFW. Send it to the Dallas Morning News. Send it to the Star Telegram. And you tell them what happened, and to the consumer advocates and everybody you can. And you nail them. And the first thing you do is you can. I would do that, and I would call that manager and say, you're going to fire this guy, and you're going to give me my money back and then some, or I'm going to unleash all this on you. And it's not blackmail. It's like you're going to make everything right, and you're going to make it better than it was, and you're going to fire this guy, or I'm going to do all this. Tell them you're going to do all those things. I got to roll, but thank you for your call. I could spend 20 minutes with each person. I can't do that. I want to get everybody's to chime in tonight. So thank you. And we have, who else do we have? We got Mike in Kemp. We got Jeffrey in Arlington. We got Eddie in Fort Worth. You guys are next. I'm going right to you, back to back to back. Don't go anywhere. Scams. And have you been scammed or staved off a scam, prevented one, or have your parents been scammed? I'll tell you about my father-in-law and what happened to him and how they got him. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Two lines open. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Have you or somebody you know been scammed? Have you caught somebody trying to scam you and stopped it? And what's your advice? And I've given you mine. I'll give you more. Coming up next, let's go right to your calls on this. We have one line open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Mike and Kemp, you're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guy.
Hello, sir.
All right. Yeah, my son, he delivers products to stores. Mm-hmm. And he went to this one store and seen this older guy, like 80-something years old. Mm-hmm. He had a stack of $100 bills.
Oh.
And $8,000 worth. And he asked him, is everything okay? He's like,
good.
Yeah, my son want me to, I don't know, some kind of machine that, like the stock markers use. I don't know what kind of machine that is, but he was feeding this thing $100 bills.
Oh, my gosh.
And he like, well, all right. He kind of blowed off for a second. He went inside, come right back out, and he's still feeding it.
Oh.
And he said, sir, are you sure that your son wants you to do this? That, yeah, they told me to stay on the line and don't hang up and don't talk to nobody. And he said, yes, sir, that's a scam. They're scamming you.
Good.
And they said, and they told you not to talk to nobody. Don't hang up.
Right.
And just put the money in there. And he said, yeah, that's what they said.
They're scaring you. They're saying it's urgent. Yes. They're making it emotional. They're inciting fear and panic into you. It's all a lie. And you must never believe this garbage. And with AI, you can have your son, quote unquote, calling you and saying, Dad, I'm in the sheriff's department. I'm in the hospital. I need this money, or I'm stranded in Mexico. No problem. I'll call you right back. Hang up, and then call your son's number on that you have on your phone. Yeah. Or call your wife, call your sister, call your uncle, call everybody, but don't call the scammers and talk to them. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, he tried to get him to call his son, but he said, no, they told me not to hang up. And he said, no, that's a scam. You need to hang up. And so he hung up, and he'd seen his son beeping in, but he would never switch over. And so after he got him to hang up, his son called. He said, answer that phone call. He answered it. He said, yeah, so-and-so, what his name is, said, why did you pull $8,000 out of the bank? He's like, well, they said that you needed it. He's like, no. But so they done got $2,000 out of him.
Okay, well, thank God. Your son Saved them $6,000. Your son is a hero. But caring, you raised him well. How old was he at that time?
He's, I believe he's 30 right now.
Okay.
This was like not even a month ago.
Okay. Well done, Dad. Well done. Okay, let's go next to Jeffrey in Arlington. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Go.
Hello. You sort of covered this, but it was stream of consciousness.
Go.
First, on calls coming in.
Yeah.
Most cell phones can be put on silent ring, and then it would roll. If it's a real number, it'll roll to your voicemail, and you can go back and then block the odd calls.
Yes, I've done that with the fake Spectrum number, and
All right.
No, I'm just saying, yeah. Go. All right. And you too, sir. All right. Yes, go ahead.
My email scam is I have LifeLock, and they have an affiliation with Norton. Now, this is specific, but let's get general. When you get a bunch of emails saying you have to give them money or thank you for this is your invoice, what I do is I ignore it and never click on the phone numbers or call. You can don't use Google, use DuckDuckGo.
Yes,
and you can check the phone numbers, and I've seen them all over the country.
Why don't you use Google, by the way?
They track you.
Okay, go ahead next. Is there anything else on that, or are you good? That was good. That's good.
No.
We got 30 seconds.
You knocked it out of my head. The email scams. Always go online and check your accounts to make sure that they haven't been fiddling around.
Yes.
So this is general for email that you don't. You may have an association, but don't call. And when you call, by the way, they know now it's a live number. It's best to not call. Let them go to your voicemail.
Correct.
If they do.
Yes.
But, so that's a broad spectrum of things to watch for and try to
I appreciate you, Jeffrey, and appreciate your help, my friend. We've got 3 lines open at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Have you or somebody you know been scammed? Have you caught an attempted scam on you and stopped it, or on your parents, etc.? And what's your advice? And I'll give you mine, more of it coming up next on They Try to Scam Me, as my cable company is still trying to do it right now. And I called my cable company twice, and it's not them. And it's pretty convincing. Don't let it happen to you. I didn't click on anything. I didn't give them any money. I hung up on them. And ain't no problem my cable, but they're trying to make it be one. Okay, and I'll tell you about my father-in-law's case. It's he was scammed out of, unfortunately, thousands. All that next, plus your call. James in Fort Worth, Eddie in Fort Worth, you guys are next. Plus your call, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. This woman was scammed, convinced to get into a car they paid for to drive her, like a driving service or whatever, to drive her to a gas station and actually to her bank, withdraw $40,000, and then go over to a gas station. I mean, this is insane for anybody to think this would be okay, but she's elderly, so that's different. And she's depositing thousands of dollars into a Bitcoin ATM, and a 38-year-old catches it and says, hey, she calls 911, tells the cops, get over here, she's being scammed, she's putting money in. Cop shows up, she's on the phone with this guy on FaceTime and telling her what to do, and you have to do it now, and she was going to go to another location, do another $20,000 somewhere else. She was scammed $23,900 before the cops stopped it. And so have you been scammed or attempted scams, or have your parents? And what's your advice? And I'll give you mine too as we go about the evening on this. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. We have 2 lines open. Let's go to Eddie in Fort Worth. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hey, Eddie.
How you doing?
Good, sir.
All right. Yeah, I was back. I've been out here in the state for about 40-some years. But my parents lived up in New York, and I was home at that time visiting, and my mother got a phone call, and she's sitting on the phone, and I seen her face drop. I said, "Ma, what's wrong?" They said that my mortgage on the house is overdue. It's and they're about ready to foreclose.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
And she owned the house for over 30 years.
Yep.
And I looked at her, and she told me that, and I looked at her, and I just started laughing. This is back in the Obama days. And I said, well, Obama said he took care of everything. The mortgage is free. He took care of the mortgage.
Yeah.
So he told her that. She told him that. We were both laughed, and she hung up.
That's great. My goodness. Good thing you were there.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate your call, Eddie. Thanks for sharing. Next, we have James in Fort Worth. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hey, James.
Hello, sir. Good evening. There's a couple of things that happened here, and both of them were with the Chase Bank. One of them, we had ordered my son collects these Lego figures. Some of these things are extremely pricey, especially if they come from these shows that they only give out 2 or 3 of them, whatever. So he bought this one at $3,500. Mm-hmm. They sent a fake one. Now he realized it, took it, had other people look at it. This isn't real. Call Chase. Say, hey, look, we need you to contact this guy and get the money back. Chase wouldn't intervene. They said, no, you authorized the purchase. Yeah, we authorized the purchase for the real item. This is a fake item.
A credit card's supposed to prevent you from getting scammed.
But they didn't. Once again, here recently, ordered another one. Now this is for my son. And
how much was that first one?
$3,500.
So your son lost $3,500?
My wife did. Yeah.
Oh,
and we still have this. And Chase they still won't get the money. They said, no, because you authorized it. It was a Trigicon or whatever those games do. Did
you guys not, or did your son not verify the seller as high ratings, 800 ratings, or 1,000, what?
Sure, he sold before, and that's why he bought from him. This kid has a really nice collection. I mean, he does this and.
Okay, so if he bought from them before and it was legit, did he contact them and say, hey, this is a scam?
He contacted Chase. The ones
No. If you said the seller sells real stuff and he's been good before, then why don't you just say, hey, dude, this is fake. I want my money back.
Chase, he said you have to contact Facebook.
Then he's a scammer. Then he's a... Okay.
It was. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. You said you had something else?
Chase wouldn't get the money back.
Okay, I got you. But
your
issue is the vendor giving your money back, and if he bought from a reputable vendor, they'll give the money back. I bought a nearly $500 camera from a shop in Tokyo who's extremely reputable on eBay. And when I got it, it only was in Japanese, and I couldn't figure it out. And I emailed them or whatever, and they said, it's Japanese only, and they circled where it said that on the thing, and we missed it. What did they do? They took it back. So, I mean, it was... that's what a good reputable one. That's not reputable, and if you say they're reputable, they're not. What's the next? They're not. They owe you the money back. But that's your issue. Go ahead. What's the next one?
Yeah, and then the next one is the same thing. Ordered another Lego here and paid through Cash App
from the same company.
No, this was a different guy. Okay. There's multiple people out there selling these toys. So anyway, he ordered it and he paid through Cash App this time. This time, this guy never sent the money. I mean, he never sent the product. So another person online tracked him down, has his girlfriend, his son's names, and all that. But I said, no. See, what you'll do if you harass him is the police will show up at our front door and they'll get you for harassment. Leave this guy alone. We're going to go to Chase. Went to Chase, and Chase once again said, we can't get your money back because you paid through a second party. I said, listen, Chase, you paid Cash App. Cash App paid him. You tell Cash App I want my money back. Cash App will get the money from them. And Chase said, no, we won't intervene.
All right. Well, how much on the second one?
Thank God that one was only $100.
I think your son's learning a lesson.
A valuable lesson.
That he is not able to buy online, so he should not be allowed to buy online. And then until he's got his own money and he loses his own money, and if he wants to keep losing money, that's his choice.
But it teaches them also to be dishonest, and I'm saying no, you can't. So you
well,
can't.
It doesn't teach your son to be dishonest because you've raised him right.
That's right.
So my son may get scammed, but he's not going to be dishonest. I appreciate your call. I mean, to me that's ridiculous. After the first one, man, that's obscene. And it's obviously not through like eBay. I'm not an expert on this, too. My friend is and my wife is, so I let them do it for me. And I don't get mad if it doesn't work out because I trust them and I keep with the trust. All right, let's go now to Karen in Denton. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Hey, Chris. So I want to bring awareness, hopefully. I was scammed, never thought this would happen to me. And I want to say you have to be very careful who you write a check to. So I was scammed in excess of $60,000.
How?
And over the course of about 4 months, the bank, thank goodness, got all the money back. They guarantee, they're going to cover fraud. So their fraud department did what they did. And eventually I did get the money back, but it was a painful process. It was on a business account. And I learned that when you write a check to someone, you are giving them your bank account number,
router number,
your router number, your address, your name, and often your phone number. So we live in a day and age where you can go online and pay bills with an electronic check.
Let me ask you a question. If you have multiple accounts, let's say you have 2 savings accounts and 1 checking, like I do from the same outfit. You give them a check. If they scam you that, they can't drain the other 2 because they're different.
No.
Right. Okay. Well,
correct.
That's good. You know what I do? And this is just my little thing. I'm not saying you're wrong in any way, shape, or form because you're not. I just keep enough to pay the bills and I cut the checks each week. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if they get me, it'll only be for a couple thousand, 3,000 max, maybe 4,000, which is still bad. But the bulk of it's in the other ones. But so what happened? They did honor it because
so happened?
What bank do you have that honored that? What bank do you have that honored?
Bank of America. Bank of America, and we own a commercial fleet truck and van dealership. So we have a lot of things happening, and a lot of customers pay with check. A lot of money has to stay in there to cover a lot of things. So anyway, what happened? It was a disaster because it was a business account, and I had all of these charges hitting.
Yeah, you got a lot of money in there.
Ongoing.
Yeah. So what was it? Who was it that you passed the check to that you trusted?
So we think it was probably a transporter, but we cannot be 100% sure. Now I will not write a check unless it's to the tax office at all.
Right.
And I have one account where if a customer wants to send a bank wire, it's frozen. It can only take incoming deposits.
Good for
but
you.
But beware. I was told by the banker that the United States is the only place that is still using checks, and I want everybody to beware when you get a check to
business
somebody.
Transaction, you mean?
Just in general.
Oh, the rest is all electronic everywhere else. Okay.
Yeah, when you write a check to somebody, you are giving them your account number and your routing number, and they can. I had credit cards being paid. I had mortgage payments being paid. You name it, things were being paid all over the place, and it was all done through an electronic check where somebody
was paying their mortgages and everything. You're saying with your money,
everything.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I have a feeling they sold the account information.
How long? But you got it all changed, so you're good after that.
I am good. I froze the account.
How long has it been?
It's been 7 months.
Good for you. We had something like that where years ago. We've been here now in the best state of the country for our second tour. We were here in the 90s, but we've been here now for we're on our 15th year. It's about 14 and a half years maybe, and before we came here, about a year before we came here, year and a half, we got a bogus charge, and there was a phone number and a company on the charge with our debit, I believe it was, and we called them, and we're like, what the heck? And they were like, a little bit aggressive, and they were like, well, give us your information. We didn't, that's not true. And it was obviously, we were like, okay, it was someplace out of Buffalo, supposedly. It was a total scam, Buffalo, New York. And so the bank immediately shut it down and issued new cards. We had to go in person, obviously, with our IDs to a specific location. It was like, no problem, good. And they did honor that and give us our money back. But, wow. And so that's why consumer advocate folks that I'm friends with over the years and worked with in radio have taught me to use the credit card for purchases. That way, if it gets fraud, you get your money back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good lesson. And I've told my wife that, the same advocate I'm talking about is friend of mine, Clark Howard, we worked together in Atlanta at the same radio station, and he's a great guy personally too. But like he tells people, do not ever carry checks, because like you said, somebody steals your purse, your wallet, you drop your checkbook, you're screwed. And then so I'm going to remind my wife, don't ever carry a checkbook. We carry it, we keep it in the home, and we only write checks to our personal friend, the mechanic.
Yeah.
Or like our I don't even know what we write them to, that or our church, or
yes.
I can't think what else it's for. It's very rare, as you said. You know what else? We used to belong to a co-op with my daughter and my son, and that's a local thing, and it's a local group, and it's a faith-based group and stuff like that. So we directly hand that to them and stuff. So you know, that, or my tree trimmer, who's a great guy. I like the guy a lot. I love the guy. He's coming. Yeah. I'll do a hit for him if that's all I can do. Yeah. So people have a personal relationship.
Some people don't, that's what they want to be, paid with. But now I'm done. I'm like, there is no way I'm going to give it.
You know what? It's worth you and me.
The credit card. Karen, that's it.
You've given us wonderful advice tonight, and you're fantastic. You're the best. You're the best consumer advocate tonight of them all. And I want to say this. What's even better is, it's even better just to be safe in case your friend loses the check or whatever. Drive down the street to your local bank that you go to and pull out cash at the ATM. Bring it home. Yes. You got to be careful when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard of jugging, right? You've heard of jugging.
Oh, yes.
This is why I always carry. And what you do, jugging is when you go to the ATM. Doesn't matter what you're coming, you're going, whatever. They follow you. They see you might have something in your hand, an envelope, that's their cue, and they follow you. And a lot of people are complete foolish in this, and they leave their freaking envelope in the car, like in a glove box.
That happened to one of my customers, actually. That happened.
Within 10 seconds of you leaving your car to get groceries on the way home, you go stop at one thing of milk, you go in, you left the cash envelope inside of your console or your glove box. So your car's been smashed into and taken in like 20 seconds, and they got whatever was in that envelope. How much did they get from your one of your
$42,000?
Hey, there you go! Ding, 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 ding. Huh?
They came to look at an RV we were selling, broad daylight, had just went to the bank and took out the money. And while we were showing the RV, they had their truck broke into, her purse stolen. Come to find out, interesting story, the police checked the cameras, and the persons that took the money had been hit in Louisiana, Texas, Arizona. They were a known gang, and they had 2 murder charges on them, and they were able to get them as a result because we have cameras all over the property.
Good for you. They're everywhere, and they come here from Louisiana and regionally, and they come in, they come in, they pimp it, and they leave within a few days, and they get $42,000. I mean, that's amazing. Wouldn't you? I know you're not a criminal, but wouldn't you do this too if you were a criminal? I mean, this is wonderful.
Yeah,
There's very little risk. You're in and you're out in 15, 20 seconds.
That's right.
And how long were they on camera for doing the deed? Where they were obviously doing?
It was quick.
15, 20 seconds.
It was quick.
Yep.
They
there you
broke the window, took the purse, and they were gone. And, there's a lot of traffic that comes and goes, so their car just went unnoticed.
All right. I got to roll. You are amazing. Big hug from over here, and congrats.
Yes,
You're out of what town is your business out of? It's just to give
Denton, Texas.
That's the point. It doesn't matter where you're at. Denton, you're in Richardson, you're in. It doesn't matter where you're at. You're in Waxahachie. It'll happen to you. Thanks, Karen. Great call. I'll explain jugging from how to protect yourself from that, according to the authorities, and my wisdom on that. Next, Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking with you tonight about the scams and how to stave off, stop scams from happening. And what a great call on the last one. I want to tell you about jugging quickly. Jugging is when you go, and it happens all over every suburb, that you get followed home, or when you stop. When you get followed home, they'll block you in your driveway and hold you up at gunpoint and force you to give them whatever you withdrew. They've seen it. They know what it is, and there was a guy who got blocked in his own driveway, and 3 thugs jumped out with handguns and he was at a very nice neighborhood, a very nice house. They jumped out with handguns and told him to give him the money. The guy called his wife inside the house, said, "Lock the doors, don't go anywhere." And then they had a slight area of the driveway open that they couldn't block because they only had one SUV. He backed out through that and took off. And but they were banging on his window trying to shatter it. They had 3 thugs with 3 guns on both sides. They were from Louisiana, gangs and such. But I'm going to tell you how to prevent them as far as jugging from happening to you if you're like me, what I do to protect myself. In addition to caring, which doesn't mean I'm Sheriff Bob and doesn't mean I'm going to be safe or that nothing's going to happen. It's just another piece to have. I'll share that with you. If you want to share your wisdom on that or jugging things you've seen in scams as well, that's coming up next, 800-288-WBAP. Also, the Star Telegram. Do renewables put Texas electricity output at risk? Guess what the answer is? Do these green energy garbage on our grid, is it putting electricity output at risk? Kenny in Lake Dallas was scammed this week. We'll hear from him next. Chris Crock Show, WBAP.